Martin, just before we heard about Ranić doubling up with his job situation, we were talking about Burnley. And Burnley, you have to think now, if they keep it going, they'll get out of the trouble they've been in. 9 days ago, they were 4 points adrift of Everton in the relegation zone. Tomorrow, a win at Watford would take them 5 points clear of Everton in what would be a 9-point swing. Everton host Chelsea on Sunday. Your old club Everton, before we talk about Burnley, you seriously now worried for them, Martin?
Of course. I mean, a massive game, of course, last week that they lost again. This is a game, Watford, there was one that Burnley would have penciled in as one that they had to win, and they've won the 2 games previous to that, won 3 of the last 4. It's quite a remarkable turnaround. We were sat here just over a week ago saying that Sean Dyche, what a poor decision that was, but maybe now it's become inspired, changing the manager, changing the mix, and Everton really are in absolute huge trouble, Jim, right now.
It has worked for them, sacking Dyche. At this precise moment, it's looking like it's going to prove to be the right decision, Simon, and it's going to get them out of the trouble they were in with Sean.
Well, look, you saw Burnley put a real fist of it against Everton, right? And came back into that game, and they were fully on the front foot. Everyone was in unison, and they won that game. The disappointment was against Norwich, and they had plenty of chances in that game to have changed their result and missed a few sitters, but they didn't. They changed. Sean, conventional wisdom tells you, as a matter of course, that West Ham never, go back and look at the results, never get a result on a Sunday game after a Europa League game. So they got West Ham, they drew with West Ham. Southampton are a real hodgepodge of being on the beach or turning up. And they've gotten Southampton result. Now, the Wolves result is the one that really stands out for me.
Incredible.
Because that's a result against a side that's competing to try and get into Europe, that's got a manager that's a no-nonsense manager with a really good group of players. So that's the result that really tells you that everyone's in focus. But now the pressure is starting to will shift a little bit onto Burnley. Because a moment ago, it was they're dead ducks, they've got rid of the adhesive, which was the Sean Dyche effect. Now they're in control of their own destiny to some extent. And that's when the pressure ramps up. They've got Villa twice. They've got to play, by some quirk of fixtures, Mart, they got the Villa game called off in December, so they've got to play Villa twice now.
That's right.
In the next 5 games.
Just looking at their games, they've got Watford, Villa, Spurs,
they have to beat
Villa,
Watford.
Newcastle.
They have to beat Watford.
So, and if you look at Everton, conversely, they've got Chelsea, Leicester, Watford, Brentford, Palace, and Arsenal to finish. So there's some work to do there. I'm not writing Everton off. I do feel they've got. I mean, for 64 minutes against Liverpool, it was 15% possession, but the order of the day was try and keep a clean sheet. You're never going to do that. It's the best team in Europe right now. Them and Man City, but Burnley's transformation in their performances, I just feel that's really been quite astonishing to see the way they've improved all over the pitch, playing with real belief, playing much more direct. It's as if the handbrakes come off when they've changed the manager. I don't know how. You get that bounce, of course you do, but those results now could save their Premier League status.
I think they've got the know-how as well, Simon. I mean, they know at the right time, and the previous performances in recent years shows that they know what to do to get out this situation. I mean, and they're doing it.
I think this is the most acute. We've always seen Burnley start slowly, and then we start to say, "Is this the season? Is this the season?" And all of a sudden, up and away they go. Last year, they got closer to being in the bottom 3 by finishing, I think, 7 or 8 or 9, maybe 11 points clear of the bottom 3 in 4th from bottom, but they were getting nearer. This time, they've been languishing there for some time. So the know-how, possibly, every situation is unique. What Everton have got to, I mean, no one seriously expected Everton to get anything at Liverpool. And they've beaten Manchester United the previous week.
Yeah.
So Everton are now in a situation where they've got to pick their games. They might get a result against Leicester. They might get something out of the Chelsea game because Chelsea are a little bit all over the place.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, they have got to beat Watford and Brentford and Palace. They've got to win, or at least take 7 points out of those games and nick a point elsewhere to find themselves in any situation where they're going to survive this.
And Watford interestingly played Burnley and Everton. We're all saying that they're doomed. I mean, they pretty well look like it. But if they picked up 6 points there, they're only a point behind Everton themselves. So they're only 2 behind Burnley. So no, it's been a disastrous season for Everton. They need to try and rescue. It's a very proud club, tremendous club. When I played there, I really wouldn't want to see them go down, Jim. It's a hotbed of football. Them and Liverpool,
this
of
is
course,
a
alongside.
byproduct of bad decisions.
And I know there was pressure on Frank there, but No, it's been a sad time if you're an Evertonian right now.
Can you believe some of the decision making that's gone on at Everton, Simon? Mashiri has made a colossal amount of money in his life.
Yeah.
He knows how to do it. He knows the meaning of success, and he's a great advertisement for success as a professional businessman. What on earth is happening?
And you can give people a pass, because everybody that goes into football that's not a footballer or a football manager or steeped in football industry knowledge is going to go in there and make mistakes. But when you've been there 5 or 6 years, it's incomprehensible to anybody of sound body and mind why you'd bring Rafa Benitez into an environment where it was going to be toxic. You didn't have any money to give him. The squad wasn't in where it needed to be. And you've got a manager that the people are just waiting to fail. Because the moment the wheels came off for Benitez, up went the narrative, up went the volume about how much they didn't want him here. They took him out. They put a manager in Frank Lampard, who I happen to believe, without enough evidence to support my observations, will eventually be a very good manager. I think he's got the football IQ to be so.
With Everton?
Not necessarily with Everton, because I don't believe that the Everton job was the right fit for him, because I don't think he's got any reference point to understand what he's looking at. He talks about being under pressure to manage to play and have been an experience of elite expectations, but you've had elite players that are used to winning, and that's a different kind of pressure than struggling to fight for your life. And you've got people that are defeated and are in a situation where they don't know what to do. They don't know how to get out of this, and you are the light. And your reference point is what? Winning the Champions League, being a unique part of a golden generation, playing for the best football clubs. That's your reference point. Paul Clement, I think it was a smart move to bring better support mechanisms behind them, and I'm not entirely sure they're covering themselves in glory in what's going on with Everton, but they are right in it now. And do you know what? There's a school of thought which says, not that I would want it to be this case, that it will make Everton straighten up and fly right if they get relegated, because this ownership model has made some horrendous decisions, and to spend £500 million to put yourself in a situation where you are, on the balance of probability, going to be very lucky to get out of this relegation battle.
I mean, you wonder where it's all going to go. It's not that far away now. The next transfer deadline comes along, and of course they don't have a recruitment individual. They
Jim,
get rid of
let's not give
Brands.
up yet. Let's not give up yet. I think they can do it. I think he's got.
I think
it's one of them. Sam Allardyce said something very interesting this week about fear. When it grips you, it reaches out and grabs you round the throat. That's what it does to you. And if you could just, if you throw a different emotion of loving it, I'm enjoying this. If those players are sitting there saying, "Okay, this is the making of us,"
Lampard is frightened by this more than Lampard will be frightened by this more than Mike Jackson will be frightened by it, because Lampard's career is in the eye of a storm now.
Yeah, but he's got to step aside from that, hasn't he? It's not about necessarily his
and we'll see if he can
career path. It's about the club. Isn't
I know, but you're talking about, we're all human beings, and we're talking about his ability to be able to insulate the players from what he's feeling inside. Mike Jackson, he's just swinging for the bleachers. He got nothing to lose. He can't lose because he's in there on the back of Sean Dyche being someone that's held the club together for 7 years. He's got 3 results. He's got a free hit.
But then this week, then you're working on the minds of the players now, aren't you? You've got to believe that you can beat Chelsea. It's been a difficult week. They've played against. They drew
against them earlier on in the season, so they're perfectly capable of
getting
getting a
Manchester
result.
United.
It's a horrible one to ask you, Martin. What does instinct tells you here?
Instinct tells me that they're going to go down, but I sincerely hope I'm wrong. And they've got to go and show that now, and they've got to pull together as a football club. Unify that dressing room and start to believe. First of all, that's the first step, Jim. You talk about success and winning. You've got to go there and do it on the pitch.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.